Cost variance. What's the meaning of variance? Difference. We are using how to learn techniques. Difference. So you have cost variance, cost difference. So difference between your end value and your actual cost. So whenever you are doing your CV, still using learning techniques, the formula, you want to know how you are performing in terms of cost. We use a cost variance. The formula is EV minus AC. This is, you can get this when the job is actually performed. So once we perform the job, we can tell how much we are spending, are we, and where we sit. Are we good or performing poorly in terms of cost performance? So we pick the end value, the job that has been performed and what we actually plan to spend on that. End value, say if it's 100, how much did we spend on that? Say 110, which means we are over budget. So this would be minus 10. Please don't write 10. 100 minus 110 is not 10. 100 minus 110 is minus 10. Note this. I'm saying this because you have questions on this, and in the options you have 10, you have minus 10. So you need to know, you calculate this, you have 10, but you need to know it's minus 10, and that 10 will be in the answer. Minus 2 also be in the options. How about time? We use schedule variance, SV, to tell us about our schedule, our time. So cost variance is telling us about cost. It shouldn't be difficult here. No magic here. Schedule variance is talking about time. Shouldn't be difficult. Schedule is tied to time. So if I want to know how we are faring in terms of time, I use a schedule variance, which will be EV minus PV. Okay, the C is connected to this C here. So always remember that when I'm doing my cost value, is cost variance is EV minus AC. Schedule will be EV minus PV. So we decided to perform the job, and job is done. We have done it up to that stage. Job is done. End value is around, based on the tasks that we performed, is around 200. This one, PV, what we're supposed to do is around 250. What are you doing? What does that mean? You are not doing more of the things you are supposed to do. So the jobs that you are supposed to perform at that measurement date, some of them have not been done. That's how come your end value is lower than the planned value. You are earning less than what you planned. You are completing less than what you planned. That makes it quite easy. You are completing less than what you planned to do. So this would be minus 50, means there's a problem. So when your schedule, when your variance is negative, it means is that there's a problem. When it's positive, it's good. Negative, nobody likes it. We all want positive, isn't it? So when it's negative, it's bad. When it's positive, it's good. Now, using learning how to learn to help you remember the formula. I know some people who change it. They are asked to calculate the schedule variance. They go AC minus EV. You get an answer, but you'll be wrong. So they'll give you the actual cost 100. They'll give you the EV 120. You calculate and you get minus 20. It will be in the options, but the actual formula is EV minus AC. So which is 120 minus 100. This will give you 20 positive. You switched it, so you got it wrong. So please know, how do you use how to learn method to get this? We need to look at the trend. Looking at the formula is always the EV first. EV first. So when we are putting out the formula, we need to remember it's always the EV first. If it has to do with cost variance, is the AC, the C attached to the C in the CV. Okay, so it will be the EV first minus AC. Schedule variance will be the EV first minus the PV. So it's always the EV first. That's why it's called end value. So it's the EV first. Don't forget it. I hope you are jotting down these techniques, these tips, hacks. Now, if I come to index, index is like a ratio. Okay, so I shouldn't have a problem. If I know how to work out the CV, have the formula coming out of the CPI, which is cost performance index, telling us about your level of efficiency when it comes to your cost performance. Are you being more efficient when it comes to cost performance? Efficiency is more about time, it's more about cost. So how efficient are you with regards to your cost? How efficient are you with regards to your schedule? If you are talking about how efficient you are with regard to your cost, then you're looking at CPI. It's an indicator. Don't forget, we learned some indicators. We learned the leading indicator and lagging indicator. Okay, so you tell me where this one will sit. Is it a leading indicator or a lagging indicator? So CPI, all you do is remember it's EV first. So it's still between EV and AC. So EV first is a ratio. So introduce your division sign here. EV over AC. So variance is different. So you go with minus. Ratio in index is a ratio. So use your divider or division sign. So it'll be EV divided by AC. Quite straightforward. So if I know this, I should remember this. If I know this, I should remember this. Okay. One is a ratio, the other one is more like a difference. If I know CV, SV is equal to, yes, go with me. SV is equal to EV minus what? Say it and you remember. Full learning, what you bring from a memory bank becomes stronger in your brain. EV minus
EV, PV.
Great. So if you want to turn this into an index, a ratio, if you want EV, EV over PV. Great. EV over PV, that's it. So what it means is if I should remember this, this should come. What you have done now using the technique is to join the two networks. This is one bit of the network representing EV minus PV. There's another network being created now in your brain. If you do the scan, we'll see it, which is EV over PV for SPR. They are now connected in your brain. So this is connected to that. So once this is remembered, you are likely to remember this. Or if you remember this, you are likely to remember that one because it has been connected in your brain. And the technique you used is what made it connect. Okay? So if you did not use a technique, I'm showing you how your brain works. If you didn't use a technique to look out for these patterns, this is what would have actually happened. This would be a separate network in your brain as EI equal to EV over PV. Will be separate. Then the other one will be SV equal to EV minus PV, separate. You did not tie them. Looking at pattern, looking at where they connect. Because you did not do that, the brain wouldn't connect it. So it'll be separate. So when you remember this, you may not even remember the other one. This could be remembered, but this might not be remembered. Somebody will remember EV over EC and would be asked to calculate SV, and for SV, do a PV minus EV. So because it's not connected, but what you've done now, looking at pattern, it is connecting the two. So once this is remembered, this will be remembered because there's a part in there. That's how you learn. So this has become a long-term memory in your head. No need to memorize it, okay? All right, so this is done. Is the amount of budget deficit surplus at a given point. You have some exercises, a measure of your cost performance. This is a measure of your schedule performance. We talked about it. This is a measure of schedule efficiency. Which one talks about efficiency? Is about the index. Okay, cost efficiency is about the CPI. This one is considered most critical EVA metric. You have a question on that. Which one is considered the most critical EVA metric? Is a CPI. The guy says why? Because when your project is running late, if you have a problem with your cost, it's difficult to catch. So you want to keep an eye on your CPI, on your cost. You're supposed to spend 200,000 on milestone F. You've already spent about 250,000. You've got 5 milestones to achieve. How do you get this money back? How do you get back on track? It's quite difficult. Get back on budget is quite difficult. When it's time, it's doable, not too difficult, like having cost issues. You have techniques you could actually do, use to techniques you can use to catch up, to get back on track. And those techniques also might go and affect your budget. So you might want to look at the time and also look more at your cost. So we say that CPI metric is the most critical EVA. Please take note, you can have questions on that. Then we are asked to talk about calculate the variance at completion. That shouldn't be difficult. What is a variance? So the whole project, we have our budget for the whole project. I want to know, this is also a forecasting indicator. We want to know how much we would spend, whether we go over or under when the project is done, even though it's not done. We could pick the budget and do an estimate of the cost of the project based on our performance, based on things that we are seeing. We could project. So based on things that you are seeing, you could project how much their project will cost. So here we are telling you to be a prophet. So the project manager has got many names. I'll come to that later.